Hello everyone, it's Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research here at FXPRIMUS, bringing you the day's scheduled events for Friday, February 19th. UK retail sales are the first major indicator of the day at 9:30 GMT. Sales were disappointing in December, but some rebound is expected today in both the overall figure and the core figure, which excludes autos and fuel. This could shore up confidence in the UK economy and help to bolster the beleaguered pound. Cleveland Fed President Mester speaks at the beginning of the U.S. day. She's a well-known hawk and may be somewhat more willing to discuss rate hikes than other Fed speakers recently. That's probably expected, though, and so might not have that much impact on the dollar. If, on the other hand, she too sounds cautious, then the market will be reassured that no hikes are likely for some time, and the dollar could weaken. The U.S. CPI for January is the first U.S. indicator of the day. It's expected to show that prices continue to fall on a month-on-month basis owing to falling gasoline prices, although the year-on-year rate of change is forecast to increase for this 1 month only due to base effects. Core CPI is forecast to be stable. Now, the CPI isn't the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. That's the Core Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, but it is the most popular indicator of inflation. A continued month-on-month decline may call into question the ability of the Fed to tighten further and could be negative for the dollar. Canadian CPI is forecast to fall month-on-month in January as well, as the falling gasoline prices there outweighs the rise in food prices. But here too, the year-on-year rate would rise nonetheless. Still, it's stuck at the bottom of the Bank of Canada's range and so represents no barrier to further easing. It's likely to be negative for the Canadian dollar. Eurozone consumer confidence fell in January and is forecast to fall further in February. The improving labor market and falling energy prices should boost confidence, but the turmoil in the financial markets and concerns about global growth are negatives. This is Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research at FXPRIMUS. Get more market insights on our education pages and turn your trading ideas into action with FXPRIMUS, the safest place to trade.